Alexander Volkanovski and Deigo Lopez will be fighting each other this weekend for the vacant featherweight title. And I'm basically just be breaking down the fight, how I think the fight goes, and who I think wins this fight overall. Now, starting off with the odds, Volkanovski is a slight favorite at a minus 148, and Lopez is a slight underdog at a plus 124. Basically, just a pick and fight if we're going to be real here. Volkanovski is much shorter at 5'6" than Lopez at 5'11, and Lopez does have a 1 inch advantage in reach. One thing I'm going to start off by saying is Volkanovski cannot treat Lopez the same way he treated Max Holloway. Max Holloway does not have the reach on Volk that Lopez does. Max Holloway only has 69-inch reach compared to Lopez 72. So a lot of the leg kicks Volk lands on Holloway, where he's like backing up with his chin in the air, it won't work against a guy like Lopez because Lopez can still hit him. Lopez still has that reach. And on top of that, he is much more dangerous early on. That's a very smooth transition. I hope you noticed. He's much more dangerous early on. Holloway is very pillow-handed. You know what I mean? He can't get the knockout. I know, obviously, he did knock out Korean Zombie. He knocked out Justin Gaethje. He doesn't have the ability to end a fight in a second that Lopez does. I'll just throw that in the end. He doesn't have the knockout ability of Lopez. Now, in terms of advantages, obviously goes to Lopez early on. He is probably one of the most dangerous round one and round two fighters we have in the UFC at the moment. Obviously, there's Hamzat Chimaev, there's Tom Aspinall, there's Terrence McKinney. There's the guys out there who are dangerous early on. And you can't just, go at it within the first round or two with them and just stand and bang because they'll put you out cold. Lopez is one of these guys. I do think if Volk is going to win, he has to try and weather the storm of Deigo Lopez early on. And it isn't very good that he's coming off back-to-back knockouts to both Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. Obviously, both of those fights were on bad conditions for Volk. 14 days with the Islam Makhachev fight, and 3 months after being knocked out cold by Makhachev, he comes back in there against Topuria. A weight class down. Doesn't make any sense. It's pretty dumb on behalf of Volk, but we don't know where his chin is at in terms of how strong it is, how many knockout blows it can resist. And for that reason, I think Lopez has the major advantage early on. And if Volk, if he backs, I can see Volk backing up, maybe off a leg kick, and Lopez just catching him. That being said, if it makes it out of the early stages of the fight, Volkanovski will have the advantage moving into the mid to late rounds. Lopez has slowed down in every single one of the fights he's fought, every single fight that he's fought, and he's never been 5 rounds. He's never been to the championship rounds before, to my knowledge. I don't think he has. I think I think Ortega was a 3-round fight, and I doubt he's been 5 rounds before. In the UFC anyway, with high tier or high caliber opponents. Cannot get my words out. Mr. Stutter is back, apparently. So, mid to late, 100% advantage to Volk. He can land his leg kicks. He can mix in the grappling. The wrestling of Volk is very good. He managed to, I wouldn't say out-grappled Makhachev, but he managed to keep up with Makhachev in the grappling realm. I think he does have better grappling than Lopez. That being said, Lopez does have decent jiu-jitsu. I don't see Lopez submitting Volkanovski. I mean, Ortega couldn't do it twice, and he had couldn't do it in their entire fight, and he had 2 opportunities that were locked in submissions with a guillotine and a triangle. Volkanovski fought out of both of them. So I doubt Lopez is going to submit him, and I think Volk will have the advantage on the ground, especially in these late rounds. But it all depends, in my opinion, if Volkanovski can weather the early storm of Deigo Lopez. And he cannot afford him to treat Lopez the same way he treated Max Holloway. If he treats him like Holloway, he's going to get sparked out cold. If he treats him even if he treats him like someone like Topuria, who's got dynamite in his hands, he's still going to get put out cold because Topuria does not have the reach that Lopez has. So it's a tough fight for Volk, especially early on. But if he can weather the storm of the first 2 rounds of Lopez and make it into the 3rd round, the 4th round, the 5th round, he can definitely get this done by decision. He can get it done by late TKO. Do I think he makes it through the 1st round, though? I don't think he does. Well, I think he does, but I don't think he makes it through the 2nd round. My prediction for this fight will be a Lopez round 2 TKO. Now, I just think Lopez has got an answer for Volkanovski with like Volkanovski against taller opponents. I think who's he fought? He fought Yair. Yair doesn't have the like finishing capability of Lopez. He fought Holloway. Holloway doesn't have the reach or finishing capability of Lopez. I can see Lopez putting him out cold within that second round, if not the first round. That's just my opinion on the fight. I'm going to go for round 2 TKO for Lopez, but with that being said, Volkanovski is very good. Like, especially against Topuria. He won that first round against Topuria. Obviously, then he got put out cold, so it pretty much accounts for peanuts. But if Volkanovski, his method to win this fight, he has to weather the early storm of Lopez, make it into the mid to late rounds, the championship rounds, and he will win this fight on decision or maybe a late TKO for Volk. But my prediction will be a Lopez round 2 TKO. Hopefully that makes sense. If you did go on to enjoy this video, leave a like. Let me know who you have winning in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.